Okay, let's just imagine it for a second. An officer stops you on the street and says, "Let me see your phone." It's a moment that can send a chill down anyone's spine, right? So, can they actually do that? In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly what your rights are in India and how you can protect your digital life.
Yeah, this is the big one, isn't it? Can the police just randomly check your phone? I mean, the thought of an officer scrolling through your private messages, your photos, right there on the street, it's a lot. But to really get to the bottom of this, we first need to think about what our phones actually are today. I mean, just take a second and think about what's on your phone right now. You've got your private chats, your photos, maybe your location history, your banking apps, the whole shebang. It's so much more than just a device, you know? It's basically your digital diary. It holds the keys to pretty much your entire life. And thankfully, the law is finally starting to catch up to that reality.
So let's dive into our first section, your phone, your privacy. To figure out your rights when it comes to your phone, we have to start at the very foundation, and that is the whole concept of privacy itself.
Okay, this right here, this is the bedrock. This is the most important thing to understand. Back in 2017, in a huge, game-changing case, the Supreme Court of India officially declared that privacy is a fundamental right, and that's a big deal. It means privacy isn't just some nice idea or a guideline, it's a core protection baked right into the Constitution.
So, what does fundamental right even mean? Well, think of it like this. It's a right that's considered so essential for your dignity and your development as a person that it's literally woven into the fabric of the Constitution. It's a core part of your liberty, and the key thing is, it can't just be taken away from you arbitrarily or on a whim.
Here's a really simple way to think about it, and this is a great analogy. Your phone is basically like your home. I mean, a police officer can't just barge into your house without a good legal reason, right? They need a key. And in the legal world, that key is a warrant. The same exact principle applies to that private digital world living inside your phone.
All right, that brings us to Section 2, the basic search rules. So, if your phone is like your home, what are the actual rules the police have to follow before they can get inside? Okay, pay close attention here, because this is super important. For the police to search your phone without a warrant, it's not enough to meet one of these conditions. Nope, they have to meet all four. So, step 1, they need a strong reason to believe there's evidence on your phone, not just a vague suspicion. Step 2, there has to be a real risk that if they wait for a warrant, that evidence could be deleted or destroyed. Step 3, the officer has to physically write down their reasons for the search before they do it. And step 4, a judge has to be told about the search immediately after. See, this is a really high legal bar, and it's designed specifically to stop random, baseless checks.
Okay, on to Section 3, when warrants aren't needed. Now, as with most laws, there are always a few exceptions. So let's take a look at the specific situations where these rules might change a bit.
You know what the biggest exception to the warrant rule is? It's you. If you give them permission, you're essentially handing the police the key yourself. But, and this is a huge but, for that consent to be legally valid, it has to be given freely. That means no threats, no pressure. It has to be clear and direct, and you have to fully understand what you're agreeing to. They can't trick you or intimidate you into it.
Then there are some special laws that give the police broader search powers. So, for example, in serious anti-terrorism cases under the UAPA or major drug cases under the NDPS Act, the law gives authorities a bit more leeway. The whole idea is to let them act fast to stop evidence from being destroyed or to deal with an immediate threat to security.
But listen, this is absolutely crucial to remember. Even with these special, more powerful laws, a random fishing expedition is never legal. Police can't just go digging through your phone hoping to find something. There are still proper procedures that have to be followed. These laws are not a free pass to check anyone's phone without a very specific, legitimate reason.
And that brings us to Section 4, forced to unlock. Okay, this is probably the most high-stakes, intense moment of any encounter with the police, when they demand you actually unlock your phone. So let's just ask the question head-on. You're standing there, an officer is holding your phone, and they look at you and say, put in your password, or use your fingerprint. Can they legally force you to do that?
The answer, in one single, powerful word, is no. And the reason for that big, simple no comes from another incredibly powerful fundamental right. It's called Article 20, Clause 3, and it's your right against self-incrimination. Basically, it means you cannot be forced to be a witness against yourself. You can't be forced to give up evidence that could get you in trouble. And, well, your password? That unlocks a literal treasure trove of personal data.
Forcing you to hand that over is a textbook violation of this right.
Okay, but what about Face ID or your fingerprint? This is where things get a little murky. It's a bit of a legal gray area, and the courts are still kind of figuring it out. But the core principle, the right not to incriminate yourself, should still apply. So for now, the absolute safest bet is to treat your biometrics just like a password. Which brings us to our final section, your rights action plan. Look, knowing all this stuff is great, but what should you actually do if you find yourself in that situation? Let's walk through a clear, practical, step-by-step plan.
Okay, step 1, and this is the most important. Stay calm. Always be polite, but also be firm. Step 2, ask to see a warrant and say the words out loud, "I do not consent to this search." Step 3, if you feel safe doing so, try to document everything. Note the officer's name, the time, where you are. Step 4, remember you have the right to call a lawyer. Use it. And finally, step 5, if you feel pressured at all, state it clearly. Say something like, "I am not giving my consent voluntarily."
Honestly, if you forget everything else we've talked about, please just remember this one sentence. I do not consent to this search. Please show me a warrant. It's polite, it's direct, and it is the single clearest way to assert your constitutional rights.
So in the end, it really all comes down to this. Your entire digital life, your memories, your private conversations, your whole identity, it's all sitting right there in your pocket. Now you know the rights you have to protect it. The only question left is, are you prepared to use them?